All right, so what's up, guys? So we are out here on another run, out here running in the steaming hot Miami weather, right in peak hours. It's like 2 p.m. hot summer's day, and man, is it, you know, like a microwave. But this type of heat isn't super dry. It's like humid, so it's really weird, really interesting dynamic you got going on. And you know, for you, you might want to figure out, you know, how to build your biceps, right? You want to get those huge guns, right? So many people want biceps, right? When they think of big arms, they think of big biceps, right? A big, you know, almost like a ball pointing out of your arm. And you know, that's a huge goal for many people, and I don't blame you, because a huge part of my fitness regime is working on my biceps, getting them bigger, right? Those are the types of muscles, you know, that pull things towards you, right? The biceps are not pushing things away from you. So when you want to pull something closer, it would be through your bicep. It would regulate that action. So don't worry, because we're going to give you 4 tips on how to build your biceps and get bigger and nicer looking ones. So without further ado, we're going to go into tip number 1, and we kind of sort of already mentioned it, and it is to focus on exercises, pulling exercises in particular. You might have heard of push-pull days and so forth, and you know, your triceps are the pushing muscles while your biceps are the pulling muscles. You're bringing things closer to you, squeezing things tightly, and you know, that would be through your biceps. So when you go to the gym, you gotta focus on this style of workouts, and you know, not necessarily the bench press, right? And you know, chest and other exercises, while those may be nice and good, they're not exactly what you need to work out your biceps. And in particular, you want to focus more on isolation stuff, right? Isolation curls, preacher curls, so forth, right? Because you really want to expand those biceps and really feel them flex when you work out, because that's a huge, big component of it. And you know, from that, right, that activity of pulling things closer, if you go doing that with one arm, you could feel with the other that bicep flexing, right, nice and good. And even now, the activity that we're doing right now, the juggling, involves that as well, because we are moving our hands in an inward motion, right, to toss the balls in front of us, and that involves our biceps, right, not necessarily triceps, because if we were going the opposite direction, then it would. But you know, for us, we're very fortunate that, you know, this activity is able to work out our biceps, because that's what we're talking about in this video. That's ultimately what we want to do, is build those biceps. And yeah, so regarding that, focus on those pulling exercises, right? You don't necessarily have to pull everything, right? Because then you'll start to really work on your back a lot, and not many people want nice back as well. But for the purposes of this video, you got to focus more on isolating those biceps, which is point number 2 as far as making yourself have nicer biceps, because you know, by isolating them, you are going to shape your biceps, right? Really doing those curls nice and slow, easy, one arm at a time. That, you know, deep focus is going to get you there, because the biceps, while many people want to simply have big, huge ones, you can easily shape them to very nice looking muscles, because you know, for many people, the biceps are almost like a work of art, right? They're not necessarily something big and huge and bulky. Other people have different shapes, right? Some people's biceps look like hearts and circles, so forth, right? Whatever you've got, most of it's due to genetics. But you know, if you're able to focus on your biceps, you know that you're gonna be shaping it almost like an artist on a canvas, right? Because the biceps allow you to do that. And you know, in order to do that, you got to really isolate those muscles. You know, it's not necessarily, you know, a type of muscle that you got to hit over and over and over again. It's one that you really, really, really have to concentrate on, right? It's not like your calves or, you know, your hamstrings or other muscles like that, right? It's a whole different thing. It's smaller, right? It requires more focus, more energy, more concentration, because if you do them the wrong way, your biceps would look wrong, right? And who wants that? So for you, really think about what you're doing, because if you're just going through the motions, you are gonna work out your biceps the wrong way, and they're not gonna look right. They're not gonna grow in the way that you want to think they should be. And you know, for you, we are gonna go into tip number 3 as far as growing those biceps is concerned, and that is to do a variety of different exercises. Right? So many people think the biceps just involves doing a bunch of curls, right? Hammer curls, so forth, right? Picking up dumbbells. While that may be very effective, it's not the end all be all, right? There's so much more that goes into it, right? You got to hit it at a bunch of different angles. You can hit it with the cables, you can hit it with the dumbbells, of course, but other ways, you know, the more ways you do it, more different angles you're gonna be hitting those biceps and shaping them the right way. Because for you, the biceps are a type of muscle that are very complex, right? Although people might think it's only 2 muscles, those things, you know, can go a variety of different ways. So, you know, by hitting them in a whole bunch of different ways, oftentimes, you know, you can fall susceptible to your biceps getting used to it, right? For so many people, I know for me especially, the first couple of days when I would start hitting biceps after a break, I would get super sore, and you know, after a while it wouldn't really get sore again, right? Although that first day, you know, I would not even be able to, you know, extend my elbow, right? It was that bad. But you know, for you gotta think about that, because if you stop in fact getting sore, that's a sign that you gotta switch things up in particular. And you know, in order to do that, you gotta vary the different types of exercises that you're doing and so forth. You will pretty much throw off your biceps because they require confusion. I would consider biceps to be some of the smartest muscles in your body, but not smart like intelligent, almost like a smart ass, because those things will get easily used to you, and they'll figure you out in 2 seconds, and they won't want to deal with you again, right? They'll let you just slide on by and, you know, half-ass things, right, and not grow and get better. They get content very easily. So because of that, you got to throw them off and constantly switch things up. And for you, you might be wondering what tip number 4 is regarding building your biceps, and that's to measure and record your progress. So for so many people, you know, biceps may be hard to grow, but if you're measuring it, photographing it over time, you're going to be able to see the difference right from day one. Because, you know, for so many people, they could see that it's hard, and if it's hard, you got to see, you know, which exercises make a difference, and the difference you could spot more easily in photos, right, and measurements. Because when you do the right things, those biceps are going to grow and get bigger and form into the way that you want them to be. But you know, if you have no idea what you're doing, if you're just going about your workout routine just to get it done, not really understanding what you're doing, it's not going to grow. So to give yourself a better idea, really track and monitor your progress, right? How many inches have your biceps grown in the past 6 months, or shape and definition, so forth, right? Really ask yourself those questions, and they will lead you onto the path of growing your biceps into something big and huge and awesome and aesthetically pleasing and strong, hopefully. So yeah, without further ado, these are the 4 tips regarding growing your biceps. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, the whole 9 yards. We say thank you very much, and goodbye.